that's all right. It's me and you. We got a special kind of friendship.
I am not your friend.
Sure you are. Fishing buddy?
We got a special something going, as Phil Collins would say. All right. Happy Saturday, everybody. Been a rough day. Like one of my closest friends told me, I'm not going to say the name, that his mother is being referred to hospice. And she's someone I'm very close with. And just fucking bummed me out for a while. But we will get through this Saturday.
It's life, unfortunately.
Well, thanks, man. Like, no shit.
Such is life.
That's life. That's life. Anyway. Gambit, John Whitaker, and Snorty, and 11 Alpha are here already. Who was the first?
No. Not 11 Alpha.
Gambit?
Not 11 Alpha. It's Omega 99 from now on.
Oh, okay. We're going to be talking about a little film from 2011 called Cowboys and Aliens. It has Indiana Jones and James Bond in it. At least one iteration of James Bond. One that is very torn, has audience members torn. If he was any good at all. I know that I liked his first movie a lot, and I liked his second film. And then the third film was just pretty okay. And then after that, I was out. This is such an odd, disjointed film. I have no idea what the original intent was, but it seems like it was perhaps producer studio noted to hell. I'm going to tell you right now that there's a lot of shit behind this movie. A lot. As to why it became this way.
You know how they sold the movie?
Yeah, fuck Martin.
I hate this plot.
You know how they sold this movie, though? They didn't have a script. They didn't have a comic. They had the cowboy in front of a flying saucer. That was it, from what I understand. They sold it based on a JPEG. Yeah, that one on the left.
Yeah. That was Cowboys and Aliens cover. It was a redo of the original cover. And this is when it got switched down to, I forget, I think it started with Dynamite Comics. And I checked it out, and I fucking hated the coloring. It's such a turnoff to me when you see terrible coloring like this. I hate the coloring on this. It's all garbage. This is somebody who doesn't know. This is somebody who doesn't know how to fucking color a comic. And to be honest with you, when you came up in the age of which I was working in, you better be a professional level, proficient airbrush artist if you want to work in the comic industry. And so this is by somebody who looks like it was their first year of coloring. It's just awful. The darks are too dark. The brights are too bright. There's no gradients in the coloring. The only thing good on that cover piece to the left there is the mountains. That's the only thing I like. The rest of it's crap. The coloring in the comic pages themselves, I'm not really impressed with. Hey, look, man, I learned how to use the gradient shadow effect in Photoshop. Man, I'm good. Fucking asshole.
Where's
also
the
artwork on the right? Yeah, where's the horizon? On the right side too, artwork is really not very good. That is terrible artwork. So then you've got terrible artwork mixed with terrible coloring. Boy, oh boy. So if somebody says, hey man, you need to check out Cowboys and Aliens comic book, I said, okay. So I did. And then I never talked to that fucker again. I write people off all the fucking time. You tell me I need to check something out because it's so great, and it's not, you can fuck off. Life is, I was about to read that. That's okay. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Where's Duckburg? Is that even a place?
That's the DuckTales theme.
Oh.
Yeah, life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. I'm not going to sing the rest.
You sure? Because it sounds like you're gonna. First of all, yes, it did come from a comic book. And I can tell you, there were some minor problems between the two. Because, like, I'm going to talk about several things involving this film that led to the disaster that is the theatrical release of this film. It is an adaptation that relies on the premise of the comic from 2006, but diverges significantly in its plot, character names, tones, and the aliens' motives. Main characters, the film centers on an amnesiac outlaw named Jake Lonergan, played by Daniel Craig, and a wealthy cattleman named Woodrow Dollarhide, played by Harrison Ford. The original comic features different protagonists, primarily ranging from writer Zeke and his partner Verity in the comic books. The alien race. In the comic, the aliens are an expansionist, imperialistic race known as the Caste that invades Earth to annex territory and enslave humans. The film changes them into bug-like gold mining invaders who attack humans for experimental dissection, which is not true because the film actually explains that they are the preliminary aliens.
Yeah,
they're not
they're
the main.
scouts.
Yeah, they're scouts. So the alien plot twist, the graphic novel introduces the reveal that one of the human characters is actually a shape-shifting alien working to organize a resistance against the invading cast. The movie features no such shapeshifters. Yeah, they do, sort of, with the girl.
Olivia.
Focusing instead on a stranded alien scout trying to extract gold. But the fact is, the Olivia Wilde character, God, I fucking hate that woman. She is such a piece of shit. She's a terrible actress, and she looks fucking weird, which is why I guess she works as an alien hybrid, whatever. But yeah, that's the alien plot twist. Now, the tone, the comic is action heavy, straightforward genre mashup with social commentary regarding divine providence and colonization. The movie shifts into a much grittier sci-fi western, emphasizing a heavily guarded mystery regarding Jake Lundgren's wrist bracelet. And some of that's correct in that assessment, but to be honest with you, this movie is full of every single western trope you can think. It's in there. And I don't mind, because this is the kind of film that you check your brain out at the door. This is a popcorn film. The main problem for this film was it was released in 2011. And 2011 was a massive year for alien-themed cinema, featuring everything from gritty extraterrestrial invasions to sci-fi comedies. The year's major releases included blockbusters like this movie, Battle Los Angeles, which I love, Super 8, which I think is actually a good film thanks to the input by Steven Spielberg, saving J.J. Abrams from himself, as well as the critically acclaimed British indie hit Attack the Block, which we've done on this channel, and I love that movie. But let's go through the entire list, because you also have a little film called Paul, which was actually pretty good. And even despite having Seth Rogen in it, I enjoyed that film, because it also reunited two of my favorite actors from Shaun of the Dead. Then you had The Thing, which shouldn't have been called The Thing, which was a prequel to 1982's John Carpenter film, The Thing. Why would you name the prequel the exact same thing? Jesus Christ, people are assholes. Anyway, that was one that came out that year. I'm Number 4 was another crappy film that came out that year. And the film that I think is actually better than it deserves, or it gets treated, is a film called The Darkest Hour. It's an action thriller detailing the survival struggles of a young entrepreneur's team caught up in the middle of a devastating, energy-draining, invisible alien invasion in Moscow. It was shot overseas in Russia with a lot of foreign film money. And it also features a cameo by Joel Kinnaman from The Killing, the RoboCop remake, Suicide Squad, and Silent Night. I like Joel Kinnaman. And
Yes.
that was, for me, the best part of that film. And but it also, I think the kid, the one of the entrepreneurs in the film is no, it's not the guy that played Han Solo in Solo Story. Who is that guy? I know him. I can see him in my head. Very similar features. But anyway, well, just look up the film Darkest Hour, 2011, and you'll see who I'm talking about. The Darkest Hour was actually a pretty decent DVD movie, not one I'd go see it. I would have been pissed in a movie theater, but I saw it on DVD, rented it from Blockbuster. And I enjoyed it. Paul is a fun film. You can despise it, buddy. I liked it. I thought it was funny, and I liked the two guys. Headed out, leaving show, run on laptop. Okay, see you later, Penny.
Maybe Alpha is just finishing Dune.
In Soviet Russia, movie shoots you. I did the right voice there for you, Snorty. You know, he's still doing a live show every week here in Branson. He has his own theater. I forget his name. He has his own theater here. What was that Russian comedian's name?
The one in the 80s that started those jokes. I'm trying to remember. He had like a beard, right?
Yakov Smirnov.
Yeah.
Yakov Smirnov. He has a stage here, theater. Yeah, right in Branson. Fucking good stuff, man. Anyway, so it starts with a comic book. They look at the artwork and they come up with their own fucking movie. It sat in production hell for 14, well, not 14 years. How long was it?
Like, I think it was around 11 years because the guy spent 10 years to do the comic and then the movie came out a little bit after.
Yeah, because
I think
the comic came in 06.
Well, yeah, 06 on the movie. But they started to plan the movie before the comic was made.
Well, published, yeah, because they already had gotten the idea and took it. I'm trying to remember. So, good grief. It was, here we go. 2011 film adaptation relies on the premise of the 2006 comic, but diverges significantly in its plot, character names, tone, and the aliens' motives. And I already talked about that. So I did write about this earlier, and I'm not finding my fucking shit here.
Now, the tone they really should have gone for would be, I think, something like Big Trouble in Little China.
I will tell you this, that the massive $163 million budget for this film, ridiculously high, was driven by reliance on expensive CGI for the aliens and the ships, and the high salaries of A-list stars like Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig. Additionally, the film spent years in an expensive multi-decade development cycle. They say decade. It was 14 years. I just looked it up. It was 14 years. And it was they had just various creative teams working on this. And it's like that one team would go away and it would end up going into the hands of others. And it was executively produced by Steven Spielberg and Ron Howard. So you've got these huge fucking names involved with this film and a budget that was not right for this film. This film should have been like 50 to 60 million. Going over that was ridiculous because all they earned was $170 million for this film at the box.
By the way,
which doesn't even make up for the marketing. What?
You know who was originally supposed to be in this, but because of scheduling, dropped out?
Mm-hmm. But
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Because they had worked together on the Iron Man film, and so he thought he would be really good for the film. But they came up into a conflict of scheduling.
Sherlock Holmes. That's what did it.
Yeah. So he ended up having to drop out of the film, and they brought in Daniel Craig. And
Yes.
I don't think he would have saved the film. You know, it would have been nice if he'd been in it. Favreau couldn't save the film. And definitely when you've got Robert Orci and Alex Kurtzman on there. And I don't want to throw shade at Orci because Orci was his writing partner for years, and he was the better part of the writing team. And the weakest link is Alex Kurtzman. He's a terrible, terrible fucking writer. Always has
He's
been.
always the weakest bit.
And that's from
Whenever
the
he
late Josh
tries.
Becker, who worked with him when he was just coming up on Xena. And he was that guy that failed upward because other people would get fired and he'd get left with the job. And that's how he succeeded and built a career. Other people got fired, he didn't. So, or quit. So, like I said, the film spent 14 years. So it's, you know, not 2 decades, but it was in 2 decades. But that's not fair to say 2 decades because that makes it sound like it's 20 years, but it's not. It's 14.
No, you
That's
can
6
say a
years
decade and a half.
You say, well, that's not important, Gary. If a girl tells me she's 2 decades old and she's 16, then it matters. Oh, then it matters. Klutzman, yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Kurtzman
I
was
don't
the
know.
weakest link in the screenplay.
How proud can you be of a career that consists of nothing but making shit?
Because he
Well,
gets paid for it and gets to work on movies. It's an ego
The
thing.
inspiration for this, and they don't, all my research, I couldn't find anything to talk about that, but I happen to know where it comes from, is because there was a whole fucking subgenre of the Western called dinosaur, cowboy stuff, or cowboy versus monsters. It's a subgenre. It really is. And so it seemed the logical thing that should have been done a long time ago. It was even featured in a Far Side cartoon, Cowboys versus Aliens. And why didn't somebody do that? It's a really odd subgenre that never occurred. They did cowboys versus vampires, cowboys versus other monsters, cowboys versus dinosaurs. And
There's
the
another one.
Valley of
Guanchi.
Guanchi.
Yeah.
I have it on my hard drive somewhere because it's a favorite film of mine from when I was a kid. I liked it. I like those.
There's another one, Gary. And this is a real film. Jesse James versus Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. No, I know that. That's a subgenre. There's one also versus Dracula. And that one had John Carradine in it, who's no stranger to Westerns, but this time playing Dracula. Yeah, the Valley of Guanchi is a classic, man, with that stop motion animation. Good shit, man. The subgenre is also called retrofuturistic because, yes, one thing I found interesting about the aliens in this film are they're very steampunk. They're ships, very steampunk. They run on,
cool.
It sounds like some kind of rocket fuel because I love that when they go by, you hear that rocket burn sound that you hear from a rocket. And I like that sound effect. And I like that it leaves a trail of black smoke behind it, showing that they were using probably fossil fuel.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Hey, Soul Assassin's here. What's up, buddy? How you doing, buddy? And he's the one who said Guanchi was dope. Yeah, buddy. It was good stuff, man. Sasha Fred is here, too. The title makes... Oh, you were the one that said that one. Okay. I read what the comment, but I don't always look at who said it. You know, I'm always looking at what you're saying. So, yeah. Hi, Sasha Fred.
For how serious this movie takes it should not have the title Cowboys versus Aliens. That sounds like a...
Hey, I'm not going to be happy until we have Cowboys versus Muppets.
It's
It'd
not
be
versus,
Muppet
it's
Cowboys.
and.
Because
That was
that's
a
how the
joke
Muppets
for
go.
Ariel.
Oh yeah, she's going on. She came in with the Muppet theme again.
She said, yeah, Count Alucard. which is Dracula backwards.
See,
I remember when that came on the Creature Feature on Saturday, on Monday morning at Maury Elementary, we were all talking about that movie. I remember that was 4th grade, man. When I saw that ghost Muppets in the sky. I like that song. The project began development in April of 97 when Universal Pictures. Oh, it's just copy paste time. Okay.
Yep. Now, see, I think if you're going to do a Muppet version of something, do a Muppet version of the Thing, and basically everyone's a human at the beginning, but as they become a thing, they're replaced with the Muppet version, but no one acts any different.
There was actually, if you didn't know this, Gambit, there was a very good relationship in Hong Kong with Hammer. And Hammer produced some interesting films with Hong Kong. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was the one, because I do believe the film you're thinking of is the 7 Golden Vampires, I think. And I think that was co-produced by Hammer.
But I've always said there
7
should
Golden
be more.
Vampires. I don't know about that, but the title sounds like a 70s kung fu Chinese movie.
No, it was, if I remember correctly, it was a deal, a collaboration between Hammer Films and the Shaw Brothers, because the Shaw Brothers were in Hong Kong and they had a close relationship with British Productions. And so there you go. Count Alucard was Lon Chaney Jr.'s fake name in Son of Dracula, which I like that movie. I got to be honest. I actually like that film. I like all of the Universal films. Yep, I've read about how Hong Kong, Britain joined heads. They even did another film, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, and it has John Saxon in it. And I heard that they just did a restoration of the film, and I've been waiting for Hammer to release it. I'm a big fan of Hammer, so and I'm not talking about MC Hammer, but I'm a fan of MC Hammer too. I like the guy. I've seen how it all worked out. Oh, that would be awesome, Shinatsky. He gets it. Adam, Muppets are awesome. You're already losing Gary to to me.
That is something that I'm really not scared about. Losing Gary ever. That's not gonna happen.
No, Gary would be.
You sound like the woman in Misery.
What?
Yeah, I know, Gab. I just said that it's Dracula spelled backwards. Alucard. My favorite play on the name was a guy by the name of Dr. Acula. Dr. Acula. Dr. Acula. And that was Ed Wood.
My
Ed Wood.
favorite was a cartoon called Duckula.
Count Duckula.
Yeah. And he was a vegetarian because if he started to drink blood again, he'd become evil.
Didn't he suck on carrots or something?
Like tomato juice, if I remember right.
That was it. Tomato juice, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So when they begin this film, I think they made a lot of mistakes in the film structurally. And I'm just going to say probably Alex Kurtzman's bad ideas. And I think that opening up with that bracelet looking like something that a guy would wear that was on a chain gang or something, okay, had been a prisoner, I think was a good idea. They should have stuck with that, and they shouldn't have shown that thing work until much, much later. I think that the first act should have been an introduction of the characters. This is a rule of thumb with your first 20 pages of your script should be introduction of your main characters, establish the story. What is the story really going to be about? And you don't actually see the aliens until 30 minutes in. That's after the first act. It's breaking a major rule in writing. You know, you're not supposed to do that in screenwriting. And the aliens get a quasi introduction with the scene at the creek when what is his name? I keep forgetting his fucking name. God damn it. He's the assassin that the psycho assassin in the movie Cop Shop. And he's such a great fucking comedic actor. He was a regular on Reno 911. Anyway, you see him going over to take a shit in the river. And he gets blown. He gets blown off the edge into the water, and that's the only reason he's not dead, because he got blown into the water. But you don't show the aliens. You show a bunch of things. You hear something, but you don't see anything, and that's a rule you shouldn't break. Introduce the villains properly. How I would have started the film, I would have seen, gone into the opening titles, and then at the end of the opening titles, him waking up. That's a good way to structure the beginning of a film. And it's a huge writing mistake, and I'm not surprised with who they had writing this fucking film that was made. But I think they made a sharp decision, because I got to tell you, as much as I don't like his Bond films, I do like Daniel Craig. I think he's a good actor for the most part. I loved him in the Spielberg film about the Mossad killing all the members of Black September. Munich.
Yeah.
Good film. I think
the
it's a
Eric
good film.
Bana
Craig's
one.
a good actor. I also liked him in that movie he did with Liev Schreiber, where they played brothers, Jewish brothers that were killing Nazis.
Yeah.
Star something. What was it called? It was a good film, no matter what.
Layer Cake, I enjoy him in.
Layer Cake's a great film. It's a great fucking movie. And one thing Mac and I caught is there's a 4 in there for the A, so technically it's 4 Layer Cake. Because why did he use the number 4? It was really weird. But who directed that? That wasn't Guy Ritchie. Who the fuck was that?
Is
it Guy Ritchie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you why they start with the wristband and everything else, because we got to do the mystery box. Oh, what's this bracelet?
Well, I don't have a problem with a mystery. If you're going to write this, that has to be a mystery of what that is. It's not a mystery box because we find out what it is. Mystery box, you never fucking find out. So technically that's not right. But I get where you're coming from, because you've got an acolyte of J.J. Abrams working on this film.
Yeah, no, because this is a contained movie, so they do, but it's basically you start without knowing what it is. You just go, what would be something that would fuel the curiosity?
Well, look, I've started stories like that because I like the waking up and not remembering who you are thing. It's a trope. It's been used many times before. It's a trope. And I started my sci-fi story that I wrote the story of, but my buddy Steve wrote the script for it, Steve Johnson. And it was called Beowulf, but Beowulf is an acronym. It's got little dots between it, which I always thought he came up with what the acronym is, which is biologically engineered organism with organized lethal functions. Beowulf.
God, love their acronyms. God, they love their acronyms.
Fuck you. I'm the one who came up with the acronym. I liked acronyms like that. And Steve did a great job of actually making it something. I'm like, I don't know what it means. And he's got a higher IQ than me. And he fucking came up with it in 10 minutes. And I'm like, God damn, that was good.
I was referring to government organizations, everything else. Everything has to be an acronym.
Oh, everybody loves, yeah. Yeah. Government, politicians love acronyms. Like switching from UFO to UAPs. because we don't know if they're objects. They might just be balls of energy. So we should call them UAPs. No, you just don't
Yeah, I
want
never
to
liked
have
that.
UFO. You don't like the stigma of a UFO. I get it, you fucking freak. But I did adapt, and I said, look, if it's not a known object, I'll call it a UAP. But if it is an object and you can tell that it has mass, it's a UFO.
I guess it would be UFN then. Unidentified flying noun. There you go.
This is an interesting scene. I like the scene when he rides off and he finds the cabin that he used to live in. And there's a clear-cut flashback. That means he's having a memory. And we see he sees something. He doesn't know what it is, but it melts the gold on the table. And then pulls it up and everything else and pulls her in and him. And we just slowly have it revealed to us through the film what happened to them. And I think it's so gross when you see her on the table and her body's jerking because of the shit the alien's doing to her. That's fucking gross. What do we got here in the chat? Shanatsky, what if the movie works like Severance, that when people come to work and get severed and become Muppets of work and home, vice versa? That'd be fucked up. Like they're a human at work, but they're a Muppet or they're a human at home, but a Muppet at work. That'd be fucking insane.
Yeah.
That would be so fucking bizarre.
It's like they're metaphors here. I can't figure out what it is.
And by the way, thank you, Gambit. Very nice of you to say that. In the Game of Thrones source material, 4 members of the House of Tully of Riverrun are Lord Grover Tully, Lord Elmo Tully, Lord Kermit Tully. Oh my God.
It's true. It's true. They have Muppet names.
Because
Kermit,
George R. R. Martin
Kermit the Tully.
Name.
Yeah, Kermit the Tully.
One of the weaker sides of the whole Game of Thrones House of the Dragon thing is he is not very creative when it comes to names.
Okay, is that true, Snorty? Is that true? Jethro Tully? Or are you fucking around? Because that'll fucking make me laugh.
Fucking around.
That's true.
I
and they Hammer consciously thought to themselves, we can improve our project. We can do better than that. I don't think so.
I can name over 100 Game of Thrones characters. Frey.
Oh.
There you go.
All right. I love the cast in this film. They really do have a good cast. A lot of actors that I like. I mean, you got fucking Sam Rockwell in it. Like, all you had to say was you had Sam Rockwell in it. I'm gonna fucking watch it because I love Sam Rockwell.
Isn't Walton Goggins in this one too?
Yes, he is.
Walton Goggins is in it. He's one of the members of the gang.
He gets a tooth knocked out that regrows.
He plays the good thief.
The likable one. That's right. And he survives to the end, which I liked. I liked that his character lived. And he's in the bar scene at the end.
Oh, man. It's been like, oh my God, he's in this. You got the fucking Kurgan.
Yes. He's the priest.
So here we go. I'm going to get into some of these design differences because in the film, the extraterrestrials, the aliens, function as an underground mining caste, separated visually into 2 main types based on their function. And the standard worker drone aliens, and then the massive Uber alien. The Uber alien is like the one that he cuts in the face with the laser when he escapes, who has a payoff at the end, which is pretty cool. I like that ending where it's like the alien doesn't say a word. He points at the scar on his face. He's like, do you remember? And he goes, now I'm going to do it to you. And he goes to his face and gets blasted. I cannot stand Paul Dano. I fucking hate this guy's face so fucking much. I fucking hate his face. I stood and cheered when he was killed by his brother in There Will Be Blood. I went, yes, thank you. That was a great moment in that movie. There will
I abandoned my child.
Drink your milkshake. I fucking love that scene.
You have
Killed him in a
issues, my
bowling
friend.
alley. Killed him in a bowling alley. Fuck yeah. So good movie. Good movie. Because Paul Dano dies.
My favorite thing is
him.
afterwards. It's like, was it Mr. I forget his name is. Are you done? Yep, I'm finished.
Finished.
Get
By the
credits.
way, Tarantino hates him too. And that made me like Tarantino more. Because I have problems with Tarantino. But that made me like him more, that he also despises Paul Dano as an actor. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. That warmed me up to him a little bit. While Downey was making Iron Man 2, he told director Jon Favreau about Cowboys and Aliens. Favreau investigated the project, and in September 2009, he joined as director, which I think is great. Let's see, get down to John Whitaker. Now, look, hear me out. I'm just asking for, you need a comma in there. Now, look, comma, hear me out. I'm just asking for $2 million and an 8-ball. Not asking for much.
That's from was it Righteous Gemstones? I've seen
There he is.
in that clip.
This scene should have been what they opened with. Right here. That's the guy I was talking about. That's the psycho assassin in Cop Shop. And he gets blown into the water from whatever explosion that was. And then when he comes back up, all the cattle and the men are burned, scorched to death.
Yeah, but he
Well, I
is
should
so
say,
drunk.
the cattle
he
are
doesn't know
scorched to
what's going
death.
on.
The corona! I'm still talking, baby. The cattle are scorched and the men are gone. Now go ahead. Dude, it was so important you were going to interrupt me. Go ahead. Not important now. My favorite acronym is BEARS, Battle Enhanced Arctic Recon Specialists. Well, Monkey Jeebus is here. What's up, Monkey? Tarantino is the greatest director now since is shitting the bed with Odyssey.
You know
He
what
shit
would
the
have been
bed with Tenet.
a
Go
better advertising campaign for the Odyssey would have been nothing. Just release posters, don't say anything. And people would still be excited. I wouldn't mind this film in the form of like Mars Attacks. I don't know if I wouldn't want it to have been that silly, but definitely was it closer in tone to what it should have been than like how serious they took everything.
He's not being serious because that's a terrible analysis. It did not steal its idea from Mars Attacks. Other than the fact that it was inspired by previously published material, yeah, that's it. Speaking of a classic movie, it looks as if it was upgraded with digital intermediate filters. I don't know. I have no clue.
Let's see. This was around that time where, what was it? Like 3D boom came because of avatars. There was a lot of questions about formatting.
All right. So the visual design differences, worker drone alien size and silhouette. These are all roughly 10 feet tall, bipedal creatures designed as a cross between a reptile and insect, or even a crustacean. They possess multiple appendages, including an extra set of smaller arms tucked into their torso, especially used for close-up visceral combat and gripping prey. Well, so does the Uber alien. Unique features, their bodies secrete a fungus that grows on their wounds, a design choice by Industrial Light and Magic to visually depict them as frontiersmen suffering from an unfamiliar, rugged environment. which is the fungus. It's actually growing on their backs too, which you see on Paul Dano's back later, because I think it's not something grown on him. It's actually something growing down there in those caverns where they're at from the humidity. The creatures move on all fours in a primal, aggressive manner when stalking or attacking. Now, the Uber alien, this is the second tier, higher intelligent variant within the cast that acts as an overseer. It's physically larger, bulkier, and more heavily armored than the standard drones. And it possesses a more advanced physical attributes and commands the mining operations specific defenses. And it's the ones that are performing the autopsies that you see performed in the movie. And that's one of them that gets cut. But they also have the hidden 2 appendages. Now, this is when he happens on the cabin, which is a good scene.
Now, I know the ratings board, they don't like blood, but, couldn't you go some gnarly deaths with, like, the ray guns and everything else? I kind of hate how everything has to be PG-13, because the weapons in this movie, I want to just, see in gory detail them tearing everyone apart instead of, cut away to the face.
Yeah. Paul Dano was good in There Will Be Blood. He died good.
Hey, he had a great scene partner with that bowling pin as it bashed into his skull.
Yeah, man, it was beautiful. Beautiful scene. No burning cows. Smells like a cookout. Lizard people. Oh. Yeah, I can't stand Olivia Wilde. Hollywood likes the CGI effect and blowing up things without blood so they can keep the PG-13 rating.
Apparently, Harrison Ford didn't want to wear a hat because he thought it might be too close to Indiana Jones, which I'm going, it's a cowboy hat, you silly boy.
No, he really fucking has a problem with it. It's ridiculous. He refused to wear a hat in Blade Runner because originally the character wore a detective-style fedora. And they're like, I can't do that because it'll conflate Indiana Jones. It's like, no, I'm going to tell you something. Bogart wore hats in lots of different films. It's okay to do that. And he only when in his remake of Sabrina, he wore the Homburg hat, but he left out the great scene where she puts the brim down in the original film. He couldn't do that. He wouldn't allow that. So he only wore it in that one scene outside. He never wore the Homburg again in the film. He's fucking weird. It was said to know that, I don't care. Spielberg's War on the Worlds also did the bloodless disintegration effect. Yeah.
They couldn't do the hat scene in the remake of Sabrina because they weren't both on the same ship. She was on a plane. He was on a Concorde. How would you have gotten that scene in there?
Yeah, but because he only wore it in one scene. He refused to wear it anymore in the film. And I'm telling you, he didn't want a repeat of that scene because it'll look like a fedora on him. I'm telling you. I guarantee you. That was a matter of discussion and debate that he wouldn't do that. He won't do it. It's multiple films who said he has an issue with this. He shouldn't wear his face because Indiana Jones is time travel. Thank you, monkey. There you go. Fucking Harrison Ford and his attitude.
Okay, is that Keith Carradine?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anytime I see the Deadwood cast in another Western, I just go, oh.
Not only is he Keith Carradine, he's the last Carradine.
Oh.
All the other brothers are dead, and his dad's dead. And I don't know if there are any other Carradines in the family that are acting. I'm going to take a look at that. Let's go find out. Buck Taylor's in this, by the way. A lot of people don't know that name, but if you're a fan of Gunsmoke, you know who Buck Taylor is. And Buck Taylor was a regular on Yellowstone. And he had one of the saddest death scenes because they go to bed that night after talking, him and Costner, they go to sleep. And when they wake up in the morning, they find his character dead under the tree. He died during the night. It's fucking sad. You got Clancy Brown playing Doc Meacham in this. You've got Sam Rockwell playing another Doc who runs the bar. You've got Adam Beach, who's a really good American Indian actor. I really like him. He has the saddest,
that's his name.
He has this,
Dude,
yeah, he
I
has the
always-
saddest character arc in this film. Art. Go ahead.
Oh no. I think I'm confounded with the actors. The actor that plays the Apache chief. I always conflate him with Wes Studi. In my mind, they look exactly like Wes Studi, but I can never remember his name.
Because I know who you're talking about, and I'm going to go look for you real quick. Walton Goggins in this. That's really fucking cool.
He's cool and everything.
It's Raul
I-
Max Trujillo. I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
No, it's not Raul, because Raul is he's playing the Mexican who is part of the gang.
No. I just looked. His character's name is Black Knife.
Yeah, the gang member who befriends the doctor.
Then nobody played the head of the Indians.
Yeah,
in this.
his name doesn't appear on IMDb. BD, I meant to say.
INBB.
Bata Days.
And movie Database.
Yes.
Well, Wikipedia has Raul as Black Knife, the Apache chief. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Mhm.
That's who it is. Because he looks a lot like the same guy, Tootie. He looks just like it. Especially when they get into fucking headgear and shit. That is absolutely Raul Max Trujillo playing the chief, the Apache chief. Because he can play Hispanics and Indians, because he's part both Hispanic and American Indian. So Walton Goggins is one of my favorite characters in the film, even though he's barely in it.
All I know is Harrison Ford really loves the Dalai Lama. Like, I've never seen him more happy in my entire life than when he's talking about
People
the
want to
Dalai
know why I had opportunities to interview him and I never would. I'm like, don't meet your heroes, man. Because I'm not going to like him. And as time has gone by, he's been proven to be a fucking asshole in real life. A real fucking asshole. Cheats on his wives. And he's a fucking left-wing lunatic. He flies in on a private plane to go speak at a university to then condemn the world. And it's up to you to save the world from what? People like you, Harrison Ford, that constantly fly around in your private plane with only you on board, nobody else?
No, you see, all the damage he does in the environment is to save the environment, so it's okay.
Wait.
Well, the one good thing I will say is he at least saves people. He has saved people in search and rescue.
Wait.
I give him credit for that.
You're looking at it.
He also
from the wrong
hates
angle.
golf courses too, because that's where he crashes. He's trying to kill golfers.
You're looking at it from the wrong angle. The plane he flies is always a propeller, not a jet, so it's okay.
And it's not actually powered by
I'm just
gas.
telling you.
It's powered by the stuff that
Wait,
comes out of his mouth.
It'll come out when he's dead. How he despised golf courses and hates people that play golf. He's okay with people that play tennis, but not golf.
That turns out that's why he was crashed all those times. He was trying to kill a golfer. I nearly got the son of a bitch. Damn you, Harrison!
Oh my God, you brought me memories of The English Patient, that fucking movie.
What?
God,
I
I
never saw The
refuse to
English
watch
Patient.
that whole movie. All right. So if you guys want to watch an interesting breakdown of this film, I don't agree with him, but I watch Filminto. I subscribe to him, been following him for a couple of years. And this is his video about this movie in particular. It's there in the private chat and in the public chat.
Well, I said it before the show. This is one of the movies where you make popcorn and check your brain at the door. You should not do a breakdown. It's only going to frustrate.
Well, it's okay to do a breakdown of it, but just realize if you're going to watch it, check your brain at the door. It's not that kind of movie. But it can be, broken down into all the things that were wrong with it. And the primary failure of this film was in its writing and in its production, which was focusing on overly expensive, elaborate visual effects that weren't necessary. They should have had more in-camera effects that were on the set and more creature costumes. It would have been a lot less money. And use CG for all the additional shit. Don't fucking do the whole alien. Don't.
It's also funny. It's like they're after gold. Then why are they on Earth and on the fucking asteroid belt where you could just pull that shit out?
And you never get an explanation what they're using it for. All she says is that it's just as precious to them as it is to you. Yeah, but humans buy stuff with gold. What do aliens do with gold? Never give us an answer.
Same thing.
Technology. It's used in technology, and that's what they should have explained in the film. That should have been explained. Okay. I know. They don't.
No. Wait.
It should have been explained.
They say she says she doesn't say precious. What gives it says valuable. What gives it value is that it's scarce in the whole universe because gold is only made in freaking stars.
Still.
And gold is the perfect conductive material.
It is.
Yeah, but she doesn't say any of it. So
none of that is given to you, and it should have been given to you in the script.
Yeah.
And damn it, leave it up there. I wanted to wait till you were done so I could address it. So when he said kill all the golfers, my mind went to groundskeeper scene in Caddyshack, which is great because that's what I'm thinking of when I bring it up too. Because he says, I want you to kill all the golfers, and he's like saying gophers, but he's got a Scottish brogue. And so it sounds like he's saying golfers. He goes, well, won't I get in trouble for that? No, laddie, it'll be just fine. Okay. Well, and then he says it. He goes, not golfers, which it sounds like the same thing when he says it.
So that's why Harrison Ford it's like he was told, get rid of all the golfers.
Yeah.
I will, Father. I will.
And it turned there were 10 jackets in each order. I don't care. He could be building houses for the homeless, but he's making movies and crashing planes. I know, right? Well, there's many unique properties. I had no problem with gold being a thing of desire. Yeah, but I think they should have explained it. They don't bother to explain shit in this film. And I think that's a mistake. That they should have had a character who fucking understood stuff, but won't we get in trouble if I kill all the... Yeah, it's a great scene. It's a great scene, John. And Deborah, in the case of Raiders of the Lost Ark, said there had to be 10 jacket students, stuntmen, because of the doubles, because the second unit, the night before we shot our first scene. Yeah, I'm not going to get into those. I really fucking hate those. I'm sorry, buddy. That's great for the chat, but I'm not interested in reading those. So I'm going to talk about this now because the movie flopped at the box office for multiple reasons, and there's a whole bunch of reasons, and one of them is the excessive budget of $163 million. With marketing, that should have been the total budget, but no, that is half the fucking budget because the other half is the marketing. By 2011. You were paying about the same amount on marketing for your film, and it's ridiculous for a film in 2011 to be $163 million. So key factors that contributed to the film's poor performance at the box office: the movie's premise and name sounded like a fun, campy popcorn flick but Jon Favreau opted for a more deadly serious, which I don't agree with that totally, but it is a gritty Western approach. This left audiences confused about what to expect, and it disappointed them having a lack of humor in the film. And I can understand and see that being a problem. The film should have been more fun, but there is comedy in it. The balloon budget, the massive $163 million production budget required a blockbuster level returns, but the niche sci-fi Western mashup ultimately struggled to appeal to a mainstream audience, resulting in a $75 million loss. And then, I don't agree with that, because they made $170 million, and that's a much larger loss, because now you look at a budget, you say 163 million, it's closer to 250 million total budget, and 175 is not close to that. And the only way to turn a budget is to earn over 300 million. They wouldn't be making a profit until about $300 million. That's the problem with that film. And they didn't get near that. Now, I'm sure they made their money back by home video and shit like that. But at this point, and by home video, I mean like video on demand and all that shit. But we can look that up, actually. Let's go look that up. So I'm going to go to one of my favorite website, The Numbers, and we're going to look up the film. You sound like you were about to say something, Ken?
Oh, I was saying, if you want like a good tone for this, like basically S. Craig Zoller should have directed this movie. Because
Zoller was an unknown quantity at this point.
I'm just saying, later. Tonally, could you imagine in the style of Bone Tomahawk with the alien experimentation?
Well, first problem is they should have changed the name.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they got 176 million total for box office, and then they got an additional 50 million from Blu-ray and DVD sales. They don't show video on demand or any of that shit, and I don't know why that should be included. So the number shows that they got about $230 million for this. It's not enough. They needed to make a minimum of 300 million to turn a profit. So I feel bad for him, because I like Favreau. I think he's a good egg. I think he's a good filmmaker.
I mean,
this movie had too many problems.
I mean, he had Jungle Book. I mean, he's done pretty well for himself.
Yeah. I liked it when he took a break from big movies and made the movie, what's it called? Chef? I think was the name of it.
Yeah. Chef. Yes.
Really good fucking movie. Get back to his indie roots and make a fucking indie film. And that's what I'd like to see him do. Leave Star Wars. Fuck Industrial Light and Magic. They screwed themselves. Starting with, what's his name? Bob Iger. They were doomed. They were doomed from the beginning when they bought Star Wars.
Wait. Shenotsky, you said that. You have to say they were doomed. Come on, Shen. That's
They'll never make it, Gary. They're doomed.
They're doomed.
Only Shen can say it like that. Sounds like Werner Herzog.
I just go do a crappy version of Droopy, and that seems to be about what you want from that. Oh, you happy people.
They should have, look, Gambit, they should have kept the budget at 60 million max. Shouldn't have gone above that. There's no reason. Even with Harrison Ford on board. They should have gone for practical effects and cleaned it up with visual effects. Yep. Hollywood has a problem with only casting the same actors and everything, and then they go into slumps when you only have B movie actors pretending to be A-list. Yeah, I know.
That's because Hollywood is inherently risk averse, because the more risks you take, the more likely you are to get fired. When you start to think of things in those terms, a lot of the decisions that get made make perfect sense. Why are there so many IP movies? Because if it's an established IP, it's something that has already succeeded, and that's something you can point to in the event your film bombs. You go, well, it worked before, so it should have worked again. Whereas if you had an original movie you backed that was an unknown quantity, unknown director, it bombs. What you got to fall back on? Nothing. Well, I thought it was a good movie. Well, fuck you, you're fired.
The mistake they're making with going to IPs that already have a fan base is that they don't cater to that fan base. They make the movie their own and cater to the modern audience. God, I hate that term. That just doesn't exist. They make it for themselves.
The modern audience are the critics. The modern audience are the critics. That's all. And they don't pay to see the movie.
The critics.
Favreau, I don't know if you, I want to address this. Alpha said this. Favreau has tarnished his image recently with his political takes. And I don't know. Look, I knew all along that he was a scriptwriter for the Obama administration. I don't know if you guys knew that. He wrote a lot of speeches for Obama. He's a very good writer, man. But he also has come out speaking out against the Democratic Party. He is a Democrat. He is. Jon Favreau is. But I could always consider him a moderate. And he has criticized the Democratic Party for the way they talk down to people, the way they alienate people, and that they are going in the wrong direction. That's all I know of what he has said. Is there something I'm missing, Alpha? Because that's all I'm aware of. I'm sorry. I don't really pay much attention to Hollywood's politics. But please elaborate, because you probably know something I don't know. They replace Andre 3000 with Gollum in Hey Yeah. Hey Yeah, Hey Yeah. I like that song. Gollum. Could you imagine Gollum as the Andre 3000?
Except in his case, it'd be precious. Yeah.
60 million would have been enough to cover the financial costs. Absolutely. Harrison Ford, yes, he used to demand $20 million a film. But his films don't make the money they used to. There's no guaranteed banking on Harrison Ford. So his price has gone down over the last 2 decades. Not only was the CGI unnecessary and much of the movie, but I don't think it even looked very good. No, it looks fake. No, I don't think the aliens in particular look real at all in any of the scenes. Not one scene. They don't look. They look plastic. They look plastic.
And I didn't like even the design. I didn't like it.
Now, when it came to the ships, I like the ships. I think they're cool looking. You know what they remind me of? You remember when they used to say that rods were real? They were aliens on video. You see these rods flying through a scene, an image. Anybody not remember rods? Oh my God, I'm the only one that fucking knows this shit. So this is something in ufology where you would have film and video that showed objects flying across the screen. You'd see a jet coming through, and then this rods would suddenly appear. Well, what rods were? They proved finally. I suspected was just insects, and the flapping of their wings were at a different rate of speed than the video shoots. So it ends up looking like a bunch of fucking wings, which is what these ships look like. They look like the old rods from the old UFO videos. And not only was the CGI unnecessary, too much of a movie, but I don't think it even looked very good. Yeah, I agree with you. So anyway, basically, rods are what these alien ships are. And I don't think that's accidental. I think somebody did that on purpose because it's kind of cool looking.
It's also like that's basically how our ships are, because we have the fuel, and then it's less of a area that it needs to go. So either like a pure circle or a cylinder tends to be the best shapes for like going into space, that kind of stuff.
Tell that to the Borg.
By the way, did any of you guys ever hear that Spock has a dialogue in Star Trek The Motion Picture where he said to resist it is futile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Gene Roddenberry was on this from the beginning when he did the Borg or helped create the Borg.
Or maybe he loved the line so much.
Well, the Borg were wearing, because obviously being into Doctor Who, I'm going, they went, we want Cybermen, but we don't want to call them Cybermen. So they turn people into Borg, not Cybermen, and they're in giant cubes. There you go. Completely original character. Do not steal.
Elaborate with your ejaculations. Oh my God. I love that fucking word. It's so funny. Because it used to have a different meaning today. So I'm glad he brought the joke back. It's called Circle Back to the Joke, the punchline. Favreau vehemently advocated for Graham Plattner until the most recent grape allegations. No shit. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Yeah, that's a little egg on your face. But you know what? I can't get mad at people for that. You like somebody. You think that you like their politics. And even he was probably blindsided by the allegations. Yeah, he's cut off bad. So I don't think that hurts him. I don't think so.
That too.
It only would hurt him as if the allegations happened and then he sided with him. And then it's like, okay, wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah.
You're still they're on his side.
Dude, the tattoo. The freaking Totenkopf on his chest.
I mean, yeah, like case in point, O.J. Simpson. There were plenty of people that were on TV with O.J. Simpson, were in movies with them, and talked about how great he was. Wasn't until those murders happened that suddenly, speaking good of him.
Those darned murders.
Yeah, those wacky murders.
Those wacky murders. Oh, you and your murders.
you start to sound like a Scooby-Doo villain at the end.
Yeah, I know. Those pesky murderers.
Oh, man. If you ever get a chance to watch it, look up the O.J. Simpson tape outtakes that were a Mad TV sketch. The shit's hilarious because it's like all the bloopers of him talking about like proving himself. And it's like, why would I hit my own air conditioning unit? And then he runs into it.
This is
wow, that is cool looking.
Yeah, it's something that happens when insects flap their wings and move at such a speed that they look like that in video because it's shot at a different frame rate. And so people for years were saying, these are aliens, they're UFOs. And they're not. They're just
okay. I have you one more frightier than alien or UFO. A fucking flying centipede.
But anyway, that's what I believe that they got inspired for these alien ships. They looked like rods, and I thought that was kind of cool. I don't think that was accidental. I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah, my favorite.
Shoot the whore.
My favorite sentence of that is he ejaculated violently at him, which meant he shouted at him, with anger. But in modern day, it sounds like something completely different.
Make it even worse, Shenasky. Replace at him with at his face.
Yeah.
It really started in the 2000s, though, Gambit. His film started tanking. Like one of his biggest flops was Hollywood Vice. And then but it even happened in the 90s too, because he did a romantic thriller that just tanked.
Hey, Mephrate.
It was called Random Hearts, which I read the book. I thought it was a really good book. So I was looking forward to the film. And I mean, it was an okay film. It's a good film. It's not a great film. And it's just not one of those movies. By the way, if you want to know who that is, that guy right there on the left is the crazy Irishman from Braveheart.
Yeah.
Great actor, man. I fucking love that dude. Yeah. I told you, don't call her a whore. Shoot
Whores
the
give-
whore.
Whores
I'll
give
be
pleasure to
back.
men.
And she's a
Aren't
piece of shit. I absolutely I'm on the side of Jason Sudeikis on the fall apart of their marriage and the infidelity. I can't stand people that cheat, which is why my respect for Harrison Ford is gone. I have no respect for that guy anymore, because he cheated on every fucking woman, except for maybe this last one, because now he's too old. The only women that want to sleep with him now are women with fetishes for sleeping with old men.
Yeah, I still find it hilarious with Carrie Fisher basically before she died just wrote out, "Yep, no, I banged Harrison Ford. What you gonna do about it?"
Yeah, I like that too. And it's like, what's he gonna fucking do? And because I knew about some of the other shit, because like his second wife, like he cheated on her like crazy. Melissa Matheson.
Aren't you getting enough pussy at home, Harrison? You don't need to get on the road.
No, he likes Strange. That's his problem. I guarantee you that's part of his fucking problem. Before Cowboys, I was always told, man, if you got to have Strange, just sleep on your left arm for a while. Do that. Feels like somebody else is doing it.
Oh.
He has a featured part in A Time for a Killing, which is actually a good film, but it's a made-for-TV movie. A lot of people don't know that. Journey to Shiloh, yeah, he's in that one. The Frisco Kid is one where he's a featured player. He's the main character. Second main character. And that's one of the better Westerns. But, like, look, just say, if you want to see Harrison Ford in Westerns, go back to the 60s. And like a majority of his work was Western work on TV and film. A box office hit. I'm going to tell you what, you go over 60 million on your budget, your guarantees are dropping quickly. Every 10 million over that, your chances of having a successful film drop.
With the technology we have now, there's no reason in my mind a movie should cost more than $100 million, even if you're doing a VFX heavy one. If you use the money responsibly.
It's not just the 8 writers, it's the last 2. One of the last 2. Alex Kurtzman. Ejaculations, man, in language. Because it used to mean to speak loudly or profoundly. Now it means something else, because that's all we can think.
JJ. J.J. Abrams is going to have to cut back so much that in the end, Bad Robot will just be called Bad.
Look, everybody fucking knows that. That's a historical fact. That chase scene was inspired not just by a stunt in that movie. It's a stunt devised and performed by Yakima Canute. I have talked about that stunt ad nauseum on this channel. That, Yakima Canute and his scene with the stagecoach, not just going up the stagecoach over to the front, going under it to the back, is absolutely what inspired the truck scene in Raiders. But why it inspired it. And they even did it the same way, because they had to dig a trench under the coach for him to go under the axle of the wagon tires. So for him to be able to not be hit by the axle between each one of the wheels of the wagon, they had to dig a trench. And so they ended up having to do the same thing, because the main axle on there goes down too far for a human to fit under it, under that German Mercedes truck.
There's another fun little fact with that. When they did Young Indiana Jones with him in his youth, they actually had an episode and he was the stuntman for that at the end of the episode. That was the reveal.
So Crazy Irishman, there's only one Crazy Irishman in that film. And everybody knows who it is. I don't need to elaborate any further. The Crazy Irishman. Because they about kill it because he's so fucking crazy. But then they also let him live because he's so fucking crazy. The only crazy character.
I think what Monkey's trying to say that the Irish are all crazy.
No, those are Scotsmen. But like the joke says, every Scotsman is just an Irishman that never learned to swim.
He's crazy.
Snape. Yes, it's we brought that up the other day that was in Harry Potter too. I don't know if it was you, but somebody brought it up, and I thought that was funny that she used that. It's hilarious.
They must have taken my martyrs again. Crazy. Crazy.
You mean Ireland? Yeah, that's what I said. My island. I kind of like 6 Days, 7 Nights. It's a good film. Not a great film. Didn't do that well at the box office.
I remember watching on VHS. You know, that's like how old I am. And like, it was an okay movie. It was like one of those things you watch like late at night and don't remember much about.
It was a film that when they released it, it was really unfortunate that she had just come out with her relationship with Ellen DeGeneres, which actually did damage to the box office. It really did. It's like, man, but it was a $70 million film. So about $140 to $150 million total budget with marketing. And it earned $164 million at the box office, and earning $14 million is not garnering much money. So it was considered a loss. How much of these budgets are actual production costs and how much is just paid to actors? I'm going to tell you that Harrison Ford demanded a $20 million piece of the action. And if he didn't ask for the $20 million up front, what he asked for was a smaller amount of money, but with a percentage off the top, not off.
Nobody,
off
nobody
gross, not the net.
should earn 20 million in a couple of weeks. That's obscene.
It is what it is, though. Though, correction to that, though, it all goes to production companies, because if you don't know, most actors, most everyone else, to avoid paying taxes, have an actual production company they're a part of, and that's where the money goes to. And then
now, if you show up on time, by the way, Slasher Fred, you would have known I already mentioned that. Go ahead, Chinatsky.
Yes, and that's so that they can avoid paying taxes on what they get paid out, and all these other fun stuff. Just look up all that Cayman Island shit that they do. What was it, the Panama Papers? Like, that's what all the actors do. All that money goes into a company. Company takes out a loan overseas, so they pay no taxes on everything. And then when the actor needs money, they take out a loan from their own company. What you gonna do?
I know. Elon makes that more than that, just breathing every minute. Yeah, I know. Like, I remember my boss, Craig, God rest his soul. He was such a good fucking guy. He turned to me, he says, that man makes so much money that if you dropped a $20 bill, he would waste more money bending over to pick it up than just walking on. That's how rich. And he was talking about Bill Gates at the time. That dropping a $20 bill wasn't worth picking up to him. So here's the big, this is a great moment.
It's an all right Alien. The
aliens are terrible in this. Not in their so much their design, but in this, doing CG. It was just a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm just saying the actual like design look of them. It's okay. It's a humanoid. It's got some alienoid features, but there's nothing memorable about this at all. It's like
it's sufficiently ugly, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, the closest thing I can think of is the like Arbiter and Halo, his race, but they're like way better designed.
I keep trying to click on it, and it keeps popping up further for me. I had a few clients based in the Cayman Islands. One of the B movie westerns I remember is John Carter, which I like. I feel that movie was actually better than the way it got treated. I like that movie.
Absolutely.
Disney fucked that movie over by taking money from the marketing and putting it into the budget to buy Lucasfilm. That's a fact. Like Einstein said about money, those that make money understand compound interest. Those that don't understand pay it. That's right. The aliens aren't no Galaxy Quest aliens.
Oh, Galaxy Quest is such an amazingly designed movie. Like,
I love that movie.
Yeah, everything about it. In fact, where we're at right now might be a place they filmed Galaxy Quest, because that's close to Vasquez Rock, right? This whole area.
Yeah. Darrow, are you talking about from Suicide Squad? Oh, I hate that fucking thing.
Maybe just the DC comics. I mean,
Galaxy Quest can be seen as sort of a revision of the 80s classic comedy of Three Amigos. Yeah, I think so. Good assessment. But yeah, I hated Starro in the Suicide Squad movie. I don't like James Gunn on DC at all. Nothing he's done for DC has worked for me. The only thing I've liked in his work is on the TV show Peacekeeper or Peace, whatever the fuck his name is fucking Eagly. I fucking like Eagly.
On the contrary, actually, I think if you're gonna peg any like remake aspect, and the characters are named after them. The actors in Hamlet, like Nesmith, that's one of the characters in that section of the play. So, see, it's a way smarter movie than people give it credit for.
It is, as many of us Star Trek fans joke, the best Star Trek film ever made.
Yep. And we would have gotten more if things hadn't happened to Alan, which makes me sad because I love Alan Rickman. I can't think of anything bad about that man.
There isn't.
No,
Except
I have
for
said
Teddy's
that,
death,
Monkey.
so.
I have said that on X. I said I suspect that Kevin Feige sent James Gunn to DC specifically to destroy DC Cinematic. I have said that on several occasions, dude. Absolutely, I've said that.
Arise, Darth Gunn. Yes, my master.
Because I couldn't imagine anybody worse to handle Superman than the guy who wrote and directed that fucking antithetical Superman film that he made. Brightburn.
He didn't direct Brightburn. He did write it, though, if I remember right.
Surprised they did. He also produced it. Surprised they didn't make another Galaxy Quest movie. Well, they were supposed to. They even talked about a TV show, but Alan Rickman died, and I think with him, any hopes of ever doing anything.
I mean, yeah, he was like him and Sam Rockwell are neck and neck for my favorite characters in that movie. Just grab Thor's hammer alone. That entire scene.
Oh, that's not right. No. Oh.
I don't think Shinatsu gets the idea that you twisted that to be a dirty joke. Grab Thor. Thor's hammer.
I was just quoting Sam Rockwell character when Tony Shalhoub gets into it with the octopi
alien girl, who is an
an
actress that her name is Melissa Pyle. I fucking love her. She's great. She was one of the best characters in that movie. She's funny as shit. She also plays Alexa in the movie Josie and the Pussycats.
Pussycats, yes.
Or Alexandra, sorry. You have to render it. Yeah, okay. Got that. Yeah, cliches, you got to be careful. Like one of the problems with this film is like way too many tropes used in the first 20 minutes. Way too many. They didn't even try to be original with anything.
It's fine to use tropes, but your entire thing can't be tropes. It's just there's certain signifiers. There probably should be some of them. If you're making a Western, there should probably maybe be a showdown at some point. But you don't need to do that always.
Yeah. Missy Pyle was good in her smaller role in Dodgeball as the Russian. Yeah, she was great with the unibrow.
Oh, they uglied her up good.
Yep. The teeth and the unibrow.
Well, I just put it that, especially people like Kurtzman, they're just fucking hacks. So you have great actors working with weak material, basically.
Yeah. So going back to, because I was talking about the balloon budget and then the alien fatigue, and this is a fact that the movie was released with all those movies I mentioned earlier. Like just a crap load of alien films came out that year. So they believe that there was some alien fatigue. But I always look at when people say fatigue, it's the quickest fucking excuse for making a bad film. And I will fucking argue with Nate, Mr. H, and also Dave Cullen, because they don't agree with my assessment of that. And I would absolutely fucking debate them, and I'd probably win the argument to prove my point that you can have a lot of movies of the similar genre over a short period of time, and still people go to see it if it's a good fucking movie.
Yeah,
and that's just they go superhero fatigue. Superhero fatigue is a bullshit fucking scapegoat. It's bullshit. If you make a film, because you can't say Guardians of the Galaxy is a superhero film, though it has people with superpowers in it. And the fact is, the way they made the early films for the Marvel films were done more as straight action adventure films and less about superheroics. And so really trying to say that is bullshit. You're talking stupidly saying superhero fatigue. Well, what part of that film, Guardians of the Galaxy, was really a superhero? No, it's sci-fi action adventure with comedy. That's all that is. That's all that is. Stop using it's there, no superpowers. These are like Adam Warlock is not super powered. Not in the idea, like if somebody on Earth was born that way or mutated that way, but he was made that way by aliens. So, and what is one of the greatest superheroes is Superman. Well, technically, he's not a superhuman. He's got superpowers only because he's not from here. He's an alien. So it's more science fiction than it is superhero. Superhero are people with embodied powers that are because of a mutation or because of a gift that changed them.
Even with the case of Marvel, that the forthcoming Spider-Man will probably do well.
Oh, it's gonna do well
because
it's absolute prediction that movie's gonna kick the shit out of Marvel. A Marvel character is gonna kick the shit out of Marvel Studios.
Yeah, I remember people complaining back in the day. It's like, oh, it's terrible. Marvel doesn't have access to Spider-Man. That was probably the blessing that saved Spider-Man, because Sony has a say in what happens. So they can't just pull the same kind of games that they would with all their other characters. Like, I'm pretty sure it's Sony that's going, no, you're keeping Peter Parker as Spider-Man. You're not making Miles Morales as Spider-Man.
Well, one thing, he needs to stop fucking being the writer, because he doesn't understand Superman. He's proven it time and time again. Oh, clearly not Supergirl. He picks the single worst underselling comic to adapt for a Supergirl. Like, nobody liked that comic. Like, how many did it sell? like in the thousands. That's how many. The second issue of that fucking comic.
And then he chooses
28,000.
that sad gray fucked up aesthetic. Like it looks sad. It doesn't want to make you watch that thing.
The funnier part, they even ignore the comic they're adapting. The whole point of it was that she's supposed to go, no, don't be bad like the bad guy is, and spares him despite how vile he is. Supergirl the movie, well, no, you can't do it. That is the thing. And then kills him immediately after, making her a complete hypocrite.
Yeah, they keep trying to do this. They did it with Hawk Girl. They did it with her, turning them into the Punisher. And it's like, it doesn't work. You keep trying it. It doesn't work. Stop doing that to suit. Want to knock them down a peg. Whatever. Fuck you, James Gunn. Gary, you're old. How come spaghetti westerns were so good? Writing.
And
good writing.
Mind you, the ones you've seen are probably the Leone. There's plenty of garbage Italian Western films. They're
Absolutely.
just not worth watching.
What they have a fatigue of is corporate filmmaking. And that's what studios are. Studios are now owned by corporations since the 70s, okay? And it began going downhill from there, okay? And absolutely, corporate filmmaking has destroyed filmmaking.
That and having the same faces in fucking everything.
Oh, yeah, same actors and everything. Like, I just saw a film that they're making, and I'm like, please don't fucking assholes in it.
I can confirm.
Mando.
Not just
Deep
me.
Impact are an example of parallel movies coming out at the same time, and both did fairly well for their box office. The Armageddon did better than Deep Impact. Deep Impact was the more serious one. It came out later. If it had come out first, I think it would have done better. But and there's that hint of fatigue, genre fatigue. Like 2 asteroid films coming out. It happened because somebody brought it up earlier with Tombstone. You've got the Wyatt Earp film with Kevin Costner, and you've got Tombstone coming out within a year of each other. They were shooting at the same time. And another problem, Costner made one of those films. He always wants to make thinking man westerns. Like his characters have to be torn. And it bugs me when he does that, so the film is more of a drag of a film. And I'm going to tell you, look, it's not like it's a bad film. It's a good film. It's potentially great in some areas, but it's not a high energy, high audience draw film. It's just not. And it wanted to compete against Tombstone. That movie was made for audiences. It was made for the average, that's the word you use, average audience. The average, not modern. Fuck the modern. Modern isn't even a real thing. I mean, it's not even a concept. It's what the fuck does it even mean? Nothing. The only thing it can be attributed to is the critics, and that's all. The modern audience is still made up of people that are 35 years and older.
They don't understand
fucking audience.
That if you want young people to come in, you need to keep their parents as fans because they are going to introduce their kids.
They don't get it. They can go fuck themselves.
Nope,
I hope the studio system fails and dies because it needs to.
It's not just the studio system, it's the money people. And for what you brought up with Anima, I've had some minor dealings with money people, and I know people dealt with like the American film market. And the money people want IPs. Go ahead.
Right. No, it's just waving. I wanted to say how to read. And I didn't
okay. I thought you wanted to talk. Okay.
No, it's just what to say how to read.
And the other one is who's in it so we can sell it overseas. Those are the 2 things. So that's where the focus is. That's where the energy. The do you have a great script doesn't necessarily come up very often. Do you have a script? Will, but the quality of it, the money people aren't actually good at judging that either. Because they don't care about that. They want just X, Y, and Z tends to make more money, so that's what we're focused on. So it's an inherent flaw baked into the system until they can figure out better way to metric things. But X person in this seems to work for a lot of people, so it is what it is.
Well, let's talk about that one because it was just up on the screen. Even though I left it up there, it got moved. Was Volcano and Dante's Peak. It's a good example. They both came out in 97, both of them dealing with volcanoes, one in Los Angeles and the other one in Wyoming, Montana, or some shit. Okay. So you've got one film that was a $90 million budget, and that's Volcano, starring Tommy Lee Jones and, of course, sadly, Anne Heche. And Anne Heche was in a slump. So it's a $90 million film, and it only earned $122 million at the box office. That's all it got. Dante's Peak was a $115, $116 million budget, but it earned $178 million. It earned the better of the two at the box office. In the end, about the same for any getting close to, breaking even, sadly, because once again, marketing. Both films were lackluster box office. They just were. Don't know why. People just, I guess, weren't interested in seeing volcano films. And I'm assuming that's pretty much it.
And we have Das Wolfen with a breach.
55 months. The only other member of the audience who's also a part of the family that pays to be in the family.
Well,
Anima's the other one.
Yeah, but this is going to stop after my payment in August because that's when my card expires. And I can't add the other one. So
okay.
I'm not ditching
you don't need to pay to be my girlfriend, fiance, wife. I don't.
Oh, you tell me that now after 4 years?
I know.
You asshole.
I thought you knew that. I thought it was assumed. Okay, I'm sorry. I should have told you.
Never assumed.
Gotta go. Or GOTG. Gotta go.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy is a backdoor superhero movie, as Gary knows. Yeah, backdoor. There we go.
And then that's Wolfen.
Video.
Here's your video.
Open your back door, baby. Loosen your hinges, I'll show you my key.
And here's your other video for the membership.
Howdy, folks. It's me, Colonel Sanders.
The fuck?
That's Daryl Hammond, if you didn't know that. That's Daryl Hammond from Saturday Night Live doing the Colonel. He sort of quasi took the place of Norm Macdonald as the Colonel because he did like 2 commercials, I think, maybe 3. And then they ended that whole commercial string. I thought they were a lot of fun having different actors play them. They even had a fake movie made about Colonel Sanders. It was fucking funny with Mario Lopez as the Colonel. Just a shame that Sony's own Marvel spinoffs are worse than the MCU's own. I don't know. I don't think I wouldn't agree with that. I actually like Tom Hardy in the because I'm not a fan of that character, so I ended up like it's better than the fucking comics to me. So if I like him better than the comic, I like him. I like Tom Hardy. I'm glad they did their trilogy. They did their series of films, and that's it. It's over. He's not coming back. Tom is done.
No.
And
I think he's talking about stuff like Madam Web, which, by the way, you have not lived until
Madam Web is their one big fuck up. Madam Web was just fucking stupid.
Craven,
I think, was, I don't know. It's almost like misfiring because there was some good shit in it. Now, I like the kid in it. I think they just made some mistakes with the movie in it.
Yeah, the script.
That's about it. You know, I thought the kid was good in the part. I enjoyed the movie. I watched the whole movie. I enjoyed him
Me
in
too.
it.
I just
don't
he's a
think
good
a
actor.
story.
He's my choice for Bond.
Oh, me too. I am absolutely rooting for that kid to get Bond. But the main problem is that it just sort of sucked as a story. But the kid did a good job in it. He put his heart into playing that character. And if they had put just half the heart into writing it, it would have been a good film. But it's nowhere near as bad as Madame Web. Just
No,
Madame Web is like in another building of bad.
It's an amazing experience. You will never forget the movie.
Look, I am telling you that Madame Web was awesomely bad.
Yep. It's like it changes you.
It's an old Jack Black joke, if you didn't catch it. Yes, it was Supergirl that had the brown hair or brown filter. What? Was there a brown filter? Wait, what's he talking about? What the fuck you talking about, Willis?
I didn't even know
the movie looks so bleak.
Oh, yeah. Tom Holland and Zendaya in Odyssey. Yeah. Look, I don't blame any of the actors in the film. I blame Nolan. He's the other one who gets blamed. I will blame anybody in the cast who openly over defends it. Like anybody who defends woke in that film. You know, like the actress that plays, Helen in it. She's absolutely fucking woke. She is fucking, Helen of Detroit. She's a piece of shit. I don't like her. She's a fucking woke piece of shit. It's not corporate filmmaking per se. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely literal corporate filmmaking. It is literal. I'm not speaking figuratively. I'm speaking literally. It is corporate filmmaking.
Yeah.
It's like corporations began buying the studios in the late 60s because the studio system failed. It collapsed. And that's when actors who used to have those contracts now became freelance. Harrison Ford was hired on that program. And by the time he'd been in film for 7 years, it was over for him in that department. He could go freelance, which is why he was like, how am I going to feed my family? And it led to him becoming a carpenter. And one of the last real studio films that got made was Papillon with Steve McQueen. And I've talked about this before. It was part of that old studio system. And that was it. And it was done. And by that point, the studios were getting bought. You had Robert Evans constantly fighting for his job as the head of Paramount, putting out like hits and Oscar winners, and Gulf Western trying to cut his throat constantly. And they couldn't fire him. They kept wanting to fire him, but they couldn't fire him. Not because of the fact that he was terrible or knew where all the bodies were buried, but he kept making hits for them and winning Oscars. And finally, they fired him. And absolutely, the cookie cutter program you're talking about came from corporate bodies running studios. First major summer blockbuster, Jaws. They weren't totally sure. Like, is this a fluke? Because summer's not our big. Christmas was their big thing up to that point. Summer suddenly became like, wait a minute, something just happened here. And then 76, nothing. But 77 came, and they had 2 blockbusters that year, and both of them science fiction. And all of a sudden, 20th Century Fox was in the cookie cutter business. And that's how it began, was with the summer blockbuster. You can thank Steven Spielberg and George Lucas for impressing corporations to do cookie cutter filmmaking. Everything needed to be this. This is what they do now. It started in 77. Cookie cutter filmmaking began in 1977. Now, agreed, studios would occasionally kind of do that thing early on, but that was, under ownership, whoever was managing them. And they would go, hey, you know, those sword and sandal films kind of make us money. Let's do some sword and sandal films this year, make some money. And they would do them. But they weren't doing it to, you know, to make these big blockbusters. They were doing it just to earn some money back, get the kiddie crowd in. Kiddies bring fucking money in, man.
Yeah.
And so corporate filmmaking is what led to this problem, Alpha. And now you're talking about my fucking area of education is film. And I'm telling you, it is a literal fucking problem, corporate filmmaking, because that's where cookie cutter came from for filmmaking.
Not only that, but with filmmaking, when it really comes down to it, nobody really knows how good or bad a film's gonna do until it gets released. They can tell a couple weeks after it's been released, about 2 or 3 weeks, you have a trajectory line, but until the film's released, no one actually knows what it's going to do.
Well, it used to be at a period of time, dead serious. Used to be people that worked in the film industry loved filmmaking. They loved movies. They loved to make movies. And this ended with corporate filmmaking starting in the 70s. And you started seeing business people. They weren't fucking film people. They didn't come up, you know, from the ground level, working their way up through the industry because they love movies and want to one day make films, be directors, writers, what have you, or even actors that are retiring from acting and going into producing. No, it wasn't that anymore. Now you have these fucking animals that only know the corporate side of things, and that's all they fucking know. And
it's even worse, because think about what's the factor they decide with the Star Treks, Star Wars, everything. If you said you loved these materials that you were applying for the job for, they immediately cut you.
Yeah, well, you've got a problem in film, and just another symptom or a sign of the corporate thing is when everybody started using the same color palettes and everybody started doing the same saturation thing. And now you've got people whose job it is to work on the color for film that don't know anything about how color really works and why film looks better before you get your hands on it. And these fucking people don't understand color. So one of the things that we saw start, and this started in the 20-teens, is the orange teal thing, where everything has a blue aquamarine hue to it.
Yep, the poster that's behind us.
And everything that's flesh colored is bright orange. Not exactly. That's blue because of the alien thing. But a good example is the TV show. Oh my God, the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
The video game one, or
no, the actor that's in it. Hold on, there he is, Glenn Howerton. Glenn Howerton did a TV show with a piece of shit named Patton Oswalt. I fucking despise that cocksucker. But it was called APO Bio. Now, APO Bio, I thought it was intentional at first when I saw this show. This is back in 2018, okay? And I'm like, what an odd color scheme going on here. Is there something about this? Like, why are they doing this? And then I realized, oh my God, no. This is somebody that doesn't know color gradation and how to color gradate. And I'm like, what is wrong with you today? Like, this is a prime example of what I'm talking about, and you'll see it in a lot of films today. Do you see it here in these images right here I'm mousing over? The orange, the teal hue. Look at everything that's blue is teal. Everything that has red or yellow in it is orange colored. Skin becomes orange or washed out. Here you see it again. That blackboard is not that fucking color. But every fucking episode has these colors in it. And it's fucking bizarre. And it was a fun show. I enjoyed the show, but God, the color. Now, you get these photos. These are photos. Now, they don't have that color gradients done to them. So they look normal. Everything looks normal. Everything's normal. Everything's normal until you start seeing footage from the show. And the show instead has that fucking weird teal to orange ratio. Everything. It's fucking bizarre looking.
And now that they finally dropped it, everything is just dark and gray and washed out.
It's
also
either
blame Netflix.
washed out. It's either washed out or overly orange and teal. It's like nobody knows how to do color anymore.
I mean, look at
It's
the
also
cover
fucking-
trailer. That's a magical world. And it looks gray and sad and doesn't have real colors in it. What the fuck are you doing, people?
It's also Netflix because Netflix has standardized everything. So now everything's just going to look the same because it has looked the same for their fucking platform, especially if they're the ones paying the money for it.
Well, that's Jeffrey Abrams that did that. Jeffrey Abrams is a piece of shit. I watch everything with his motion filters on in Daily Village. Yeah. But you, having worked in the industry, you know what I'm talking about with this shit. It started right around 2015. And I started noticing this shift in the colors to using teal. All blues were teal. And it looks really fucking weird. Like every bluish hue has exactly the same color tonality. That's weird.
I can't speak to a lot of productions, and I'm indie, so I'm not in the studio environment at all. At least not yet. Maybe
Well, the good thing about the indie circuit is there's a lot less gay shit. Yeah, they don't know how to.
No, I'm trying to think of the gayness I saw in the industry versus the gayness in the indies, and it's neck and neck.
The closest thing to something gay I've ever seen involving you was when your vampire character's head didn't turn correctly, and that AI effect you did, which I still think looks pretty good. And we did show that here on the channel, didn't we? Didn't we premiere the video on here?
No, we watched
I thought we did.
No, we watched it privately after the show. But we should.
Are you sure? Shinatsky, what do you remember?
I showed it to you guys after a show.
Okay, then we should be like premiering it on here, your little short film, unless you don't want to.
No, we can do it sometime.
Shinatsky's gonna claim us.
I swear to God, I will fucking kill you.
Yeah, I'll claim it so I can actually make some money off of it finally.
Oh my God, yes, I do remember that, Alpha. But I also remember the weirdest thing here in America is when we went from a color shift, right around 2000, when CNN decided that Republicans were red and Democrats were blue. It had always been the opposite. And then suddenly it flipped right around 2000. And it's been that ever since because Fox picked it up. Fox started doing it too with CNN, like after CNN. CNN went first. It's so weird. Oh, yes. I saw Ounces of Orange Peel thing in an episode of Boardwalk Empire. I like that show too. But yeah, they also did a thing where they would tone down the colors on the show. And I didn't like
it. It was
that.
way before Private Ryan.
Just like the shaky camera effect. Yes, the first movie to really use that was a little film called G.I. Jane with Ridley Scott. Tony Scott suggested it to Ridley, and Ridley did it, and it looked horrible. Now, what they did with Saving Private Ryan was different. Was that they did all the stuff in camera except for the shake. The shake was done later. And it was also partially created by the fact that they were hand cranking the film or under cranking it. And that creates its own effect. Didn't you show Shinatsky's video when Conkle was on?
When Conkle was here, the video wasn't made yet.
Yeah. I think there are political parties
he hasn't been
switching
here
colors. Yeah, I feel like when I look back on it as a way of confusing voters by shifting the colors. That'll confuse them for a little bit. We might get some votes that way. Yeah, Patton Oswalt. Yeah, it's fair to say that he's equivalent to a 25-year-old autistic comedian. Actually, I know a 25-year-old autistic comedian is actually pretty fucking funny.
I mean, O.J. Simpson was a big fan of Patton Oswalt. Felt a kinship with him.
Okay, qualify? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Martin gets it.
no.
What's
the wife? The wife. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And well, with Patton, what he did is he used it to get attention for himself.
Okay, look at it. Look at this. Brave Me and Evil Dead. Did it first. The shaky cam. Even came up with the term.
Huh.
Interesting.
I know that everything he did was handheld. Like I love the shit that he did on a bicycle.
Yeah,
sitting on the front of a bicycle with the camera.
That was awesome. That was a very low tech solution for deliver a great scene.
I grew up remembering blue as Republican, red as Democrat my entire childhood, going into my teens and adulthood. And they switched it in 2000. CNN did.
Damn,
in the U.S.
Your teens?
It does make me sad that an Evil Dead movie, it's either just come out or is about to, and I'm not
That's
interested
the comedian.
in it. Yeah.
He has had some of the sickest burns, dude. Doing it with a fucking phone. And then because he can't talk. And so he types into his phone and it talks for him. And he has burned like some of the best fucking comedians out there. They'll try to burn him, and he'll turn it right back on him. That kid is funny as shit. John Whitaker knows who I'm talking about. I don't remember the kid's name, but he's funny.
One of my favorites, unfortunately, he passed away, was he went by the nickname Young Crippa, and he was a paraplegic, like disabled kid who was the funniest like burner on the goddamn planet.
Yep. CGI still looks like dog shit. I'm not going to argue with either. Very rarely can my eye be tricked with CG. The way it works best is when it works in unison with practical effects. And it's harder to see. When they fucked up, because the director had made his Thing film back in 2011 to be practical with minimal CG used. And then got overwritten by the studio, and they went back in and did everything CG. And
which
it
makes
pissed
even
fans
less
off
sense
because we were promised practical effects, and we got CG, and that cost them a lot of fucking money because fans are the ones who go see a movie 3 or 4 times in the theater. And you piss off fans, you lose money. Star Wars learned that the hard way.
Did they?
Did they?
No.
I didn't say they learned a lesson. I didn't say lesson. God damn it. I'm very specific with my goddamn words. I said they learned the hard way that if you don't fucking make your fans happy, they leave. And the only reason why George Lucas was able to sell Star Wars to Disney at all was the fandom. Not his creation, but the fandom that loved it. We gave them that money. We gave it its value. And they forget that shit and they can go fuck themselves. Favreau noted that Cowboys and Aliens focus on a specific aspect of the alien genre, which primarily revolves around the films of the 1980s, although we have quite a bit of CGI. Look, I'm just going to tell you, Favreau fucked up with going CG instead of doing practical effects. And I'm surprised that he did that. FNT a couple of times. Oh, okay. Out of all the recent Evil Dead movies, the only one I have had any interest is the Evil Dead Bird. And I just read the complete synopsis and I listened to Chris Gore's review, and I'm in with him on that. That if you take the humor out of it, it's no longer Evil Dead. It just, and he says it doesn't feel like an Evil Dead film because it doesn't have some of the humor in it. And that's one thing that works great with horror is humor. Humor is great, and whether you want to go more silly or you want to just be funny. Evil Dead was always good, and what I loved about because the first Evil Dead not so funny, but Evil Dead 2, Bruce had more of a say in how things were done, and so we got a lot of Three Stooges level comedy in it. I mean, the slapstick in that fucking movie is fucking brilliant. The whole hand coming to its own life, beating him over the head with dishes, breaking plates over his head is so fun. Trying to kill him, dragging his body along. It's so fucking funny. I love that shit. Army of Darkness even more over the top.
See, I have a way you could do in a comedic vein, but it wouldn't be the Three Stooges style. My thought process is this: do Buster Keaton.
Bye, Clay.
Buster Keaton, because Buster Keaton was about getting thrown around and nearly dying in all of his classic films. So imagine basically a stunt thing where like the guy's getting thrown down the stairs and then he just barely catches himself, and then the monster comes down at him. It's basically comedy where like he's nearly dying the entire movie against all these possessed people, and they start to get pissed because they can't kill him. And it just becomes more farcical as it goes along. Why won't you die? Why won't you stay dead? You could do so much great comedy with that.
I just watched Mall Shadow Lord, and it gets it right. It looks good. I saw a review for it, and I watched the trailers, and I think it looks good. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. If I'm going to watch it, it's not going to be on Disney. I'll tell you that. I have Disney. It's not my account. It's Lauren's. I don't want to give them any views that they can count. And I don't give a shit. It's like, oh, Kathleen Kennedy's gone. I said, and who's in charge? Who? The other guy who stabbed George Lucas in the back. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Filoni, or Mr. Baloney.
Dave Filoni's a piece of shit. I've never liked him. Evil Dead was campy. Then they saw people live that part of the, or loved that part of the movie,
Right.
So they then decided to lean in. Great movies, counts. Sequels better than the original category. I kind of liked the Evil Dead film from a few years back where Bruce makes a quasi cameo at the end where he says groovy baby at the end. But I kind of like that film with the young redhead girl. And it was a good film. It was fun. Then they did the one with the apartment, and I was out. I'm not interested in that one. And now this new one, I'm out. The only thing that looked interesting about the new one is the dishwasher scene. And it was so fucking gory, I couldn't look. I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to look away. I'm not going to watch that.
If you're going to have that much blood, it has to be kind of Army of Darkness level where it's just the character getting hit like comedically with it, where it just helps deviate the tension, because otherwise you go too far in the other way where it's just like, people love gore in certain quantities and then it just starts to get gross.
Been interested had they followed up the Evil Dead reboot. Yeah, see, I liked her, and there was a hint that Bruce might return. And he did the series instead, Ash versus Evil Dead. And I liked that show. And all the Deadite fans, all the Bruce Campbell fans, where were they?
You could have kept it in the same universe just by saying, because remember at the end, Bruce he goes into the future. So there's a lot of time in which Bruce is not present. You can make a show or movies in that moment.
Well, all I got to say is that show could have been successful if the fans had showed up. But it was behind a paywall and they weren't willing to pay for it. So guess what? It went away. And Bruce said, I'm done. And he was, I'm going to tell you, never said it publicly. The reason he was done was because the fan talked a good game and then they didn't show up to watch the show. And I think he felt betrayed by the fandom. He still shows up to the cons, so he's never going to say it out loud. But when he said he was done playing Ash, that's why. And the only reason why. Because it's a meal ticket. Like, you never fucking throw away a meal ticket.
Yeah. But Evil Dead, if you're going comedic, you basically need a leading man who can be like Jackie Chan, where you're physical and you're getting the shit beat out of you for half the movie and you barely overcome the odds. That's awesome. They never fucking do that.
So Evil Dead with the girl was not a remake. They said that it exists in the same universe.
In fact, the yellow car is in the is parked there in the cabin.
Yep. It's in the same universe. So it's not a remake. It's just a quasi sequel without any of the same characters, except for the car in the cabin. Scream 11. Yeah, I was done. Look, Wes Craven died. I'm not interested in seeing anymore. After he died, not interested.
Oh God, you know what's going to happen at the end of it? Nev Campbell's just going to be in a retirement home. Hello, Nancy. Oh no.
Watch the last half hour or so of the Little Platoon's recent Mandalorian Grogu analysis for a good take. I'm going to look that up. The Little Platoon. I don't know who they are.
I mean, I heard enough about it. And I always find it funny where he goes like, oh, you can't judge it if you haven't seen the movie. Well, no, you can judge if it's probably going to be something you want to watch or not. That's what advertising is for.
Oh, that's like the stupid, classic, axiom. Don't judge a book by its cover. Yes, judge a book by its cover. If they didn't put any effort into the cover, they probably didn't put any effort into the story. Yes.
Or my other favorite one to go to is like, okay, don't judge it. Okay, have you seen Alvin and the Chipmunks 3? Probably not. Watch the trailer. Is that movie any good? How you know you haven't seen it?
All right, Little Platoon.
Yeah.
Let's go check this out. All right, the Little
Not
Platoon.
to be confused with Big Platoon.
I'm going to sub to them right now so I can come back and check more of their stuff out. And I see Star Wars is dead, The Mandalorian and the death of Star Wars. Yeah, that being a movie by itself is the worst fucking idea ever. It should have been a TV movie. It should have been season 4 to make up for season 3, which is The Mandalorian really without Jon Favreau in charge. What's the last half hour? That's why when like there was a scene in the Book of Boba Fett where he was trying to give all his lines. I forget his name, the actor that plays Boba.
Demura.
He hated his dialogue. He thought it was stupid.
Yeah.
And he says, I don't want to say these lines. And so he snuck off and put a call into Favreau finally, because nobody would switch his lines. And Favreau says, read the lines as written. Why? Because he's not in charge. Why did he say that? This is a guy that really promotes improvisation and his actors interacting with him on how a character is played. Told him that. When I read that article and he said that, I'm like, Favreau's not in charge. That's Kennedy and the writers group, the Star Wars writers group. Two of the most evil entities in the universe.
Here's the sad part. If Favreau ever does actually take over Star Wars, it's going to take so long that I don't think you can get back to where it was ever by the time he actually does take over. Because I think that's what he's trying to do. Like, he's trying to wait it out till he can control and right the ship. But the problem is it's already been like over a decade. They're just not going to let him. Simple as that. Which I don't like, because I think, if he was left to his own devices, we'd at least get better than what we are. But c'est la vie.
Well, Within the Woods was the first attempt at telling a story. I have a direct connection to the Detroit Mafia because of my friendship with Bruce Campbell and Josh Becker. Technically, a couple of other people, like Ted Raimi, I know him. So anyway, Scream 13 opens next year. Nobody even knew about Stars is why it failed. People knew about Stars. What are you fucking talking about?
Yeah, Spartacus was a success.
Spartacus was a hit show, and that show should have been a hit too. But the fans didn't show up. And Susan Layton, who used to be on the channel our first year, Susan Layton, who writes for Rue Morgue magazine and several other magazines, called him out. And she got attacked by the Bruce Campbell Evil Dead fan body. They were like death threats and shit. She came here to hide from them. Mm-hmm. Exactly. When Wes Craven is not around with the franchise, it's going to be fucking pointless. Yeah, I'm not going to fucking watch films. He should be executive producer and directing. Not interested. Mando and Grogu was a good extended episode of the show. It's what should have been season 4. Should have been season 3, to be honest with you.
Also with Scream, it's become the joke it was making in the first movie. Like, there was not a thought of like, oh, you got to do a sequel. That was making fun of like franchises and all these horror movies that never end. And then that ended up happening to it.
So Mando and Grogu also should have had like a final, like a finale joke put up where it has Mando waking up, having had a bad dream about season 3. And all this stuff happened.
Who knows?
And I was no longer the Mandalorian. It was actually, what's her name? Starbuck. It's like, fuck. Anyway, it'd be like the Bob Newhart ending is the joke I'm making. So anyway, I got to move on here. I want to get out of here. So
let's go.
Little Platoon is an English YouTube. Yeah, I know. I looked him up and found him, buddy. I mean, honestly, isn't the cover of the book supposed to tell you the content? I like the animated movie, The Chipmunk Adventure. I've actually just talked about it because I was explaining to Anima that there's a great nod to both Indiana Jones and Magnum P.I. with the Chipmunks since the 88 series when they did the Rescue Rangers. And, one wore the Indiana Jones outfit and the other one wore the Magnum P.I. outfit as a nod to either both films or to the fact that Magnum P.I. almost played both characters.
The Magnum P.I. outfit, aka the horrible Hawaii shirt. Those colors are insulting to the eye, but he pulls it off.
Yes.
Nuns don't work on Sundays.
Mahler sounds like Stewie. Welsh Stewie. Wait, what was this? Isn't Scary Movie 27 coming? Yeah. I'm just going with the joke. Stars was such a great channel. Loved Stars, man. And then they got their own channel for Australia, which is called Stands instead of Stars, which are like that's stupid. Just call it Stars. What? With just Australian content, so we can't have the same name, mate. But whatever, fuck off. I wasn't really interested in the whole franchise to begin with the original film Scream 1. I liked the first one. What I thought was ridiculous is that they made Scary Movie. It's a parody of a parody because Scream was a parody. It was a joke.
Scary Movie was just bad.
So I'm going to make a joke about a joke. Okay. Scary Movie is the best film in the Scream franchise. Of course it is. Spartacus was a hit because of the...
Nah.
Spartacus wasn't on Stars. It was on Skinamax, I thought.
No, it was Stars.
Was it Stars? Okay. But I liked Spartacus season 1. And then the kid died. Fucking horrible cancer. Then after that, I never watched anymore. I didn't want to. The kid's dead. I'm done with the show. The first few scary movies were funny. I enjoyed the first one, and the second one was kind of fun, and then the third one, and I think that's the last one I watched. Was the third film. That was it. I was done. Shows that franchise fell into a kind of runt later on in 2005. Scary Movie was another example of aped up and limited the predecessor. Well, it's like, how are you going to keep making fun of the same fucking movie? You can't. That's why, like, Scary Movie 3 had aliens. Was it 3 or 4? Was it 3? Charlie?
3.
Yeah. Like, people go, did you watch the movie? I went, yeah, I saw it. Didn't pay for it. I saw it. It was crap. Had one great joke in it. The whole finger joke. It's funny to me. So, Lucy Lawless is great. You know, she's a cunt in real life, but
yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, yeah, I wanted to grow up and marry Lucy Lawless. So,
well, I wasn't a child; I was a grown-ass man, and I was friends with one of the, directors on the show, and I thought, if I play my cards right, I might meet her. Never play my cards right. I never used my cards ever for anything. I'm stupid like that. Anyway, that's it, guys. We're done. That was a fun Saturday. Thanks for hanging out with us for a couple hours. Everybody have a good Saturday. We will see you again on Monday. We're going to be doing some Schwarzenegger this week. And I can't remember. What are we doing on Monday? What movie are we doing?
Commando.
Oh, yes. This is a movie where he goes commando the whole film.
I don't know how you know that, and I don't want to know.
You can end the show now. We're done. I'm done.
Arrivederci, everybody. Mwah, mwah. All right.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great Saturday. Bye, guys.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
Matt Damon.